Champions League last week.
Yeah, we got a bit of catching up to do. Saw some crazy matches, but we have our final: Dortmund, Madrid at Wembley, June 1st. It's gonna be a crazy game. We got an unexpected final here. The Dortmund. No one had them on the cards. If we go back to our brackets on our very first episode that we did, oh man, we'd be shocked at the results. Vicente.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the Dortmund match against PSG. We'll start with that, and then we'll go to Bayern.
So we saw a good side, a good Dortmund side at the first leg. Playing in Germany. You're playing with your fans, and they played a perfect game. They defended well, they attacked well. They were able to. They had multiple chances. Honestly, they could have finished that game 2-0 or even 3-0. And then they go to France, and they don't show their best form or best face, but they do enough to advance. And I'll say it's much more. It's a lot more because PSG couldn't score rather than Dortmund defending well. Because PSG had so many chances. I think Mbappe hit like 3 or 4 times the crossbar, and Dembele had some occasions as well. Vitinha played phenomenal as well. So I heard Luis Enrique said like I don't know what to say to the press. There's nothing I can say because they played well, they attacked well. They just couldn't put the ball inside the net, and at the end of the day, that's what you got to do in soccer. And Dortmund did enough, and they are going to play in London.
Yeah, I just feel like in these kinds of situations, like it's like no team is better than the other, but you just watch these Bayern players play, and they will absolutely just kill themselves for the badge if that's what they have to do for Dortmund to win. And they're like following the quote unquote group of death from back in the day. There was Dortmund, PSG, AC Milan, and Newcastle. Dortmund onto the final after beating PSG. It really is surreal, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, almost getting the goal, it's so impressive, honestly, at his age. Some of the things that he's doing here. He's going to be playing another Champions League final. Marco Reus, let's see if he can get the sending off that he deserves.
Yeah.
But it won't be easy. I mean, it's a Madrid side that wins finals. I mean, it's Madrid. It's
Madrid doesn't play finals. They win.
They win finals.
And then, but also something that I want to pick up. You mentioned Hummels goals. Another time where we see someone heading the ball inside the 6-yard box.
On Donnarumma.
And that's so alarming for PSG.
Get off your line there.
Yeah, and we will get into Mbappe news later, but they also announced that Keylor Navas will be leaving too. They have Arnau Tenas, former Barcelona player, who is a backup goalkeeper. But Luis Enrique today, he on a press release, he was like saying that he wants at least 2 good players per position, and it's going to be hard to play in PSG. And honestly, that's a position that if I was a PSG fan, I will be alarmed. And I want someone there to compete against Donnarumma because he has done some mistakes, big mistakes.
Yeah, they could look at keepers like, I don't know, let's say like Lunin, for example. Keepers that could be looking to get a starting spot at a different team, especially with the season that Lunin has had with Madrid. Maybe a PSG move could be good for someone like him.
Yeah,
I don't think it's over for Donnarumma. Obviously, well, they brought him on because they wanted him to be like the face of the goalkeeper position for this upcoming PSG project. But I mean, when you're like, I don't know, he's like what? He's like super tall, like over 6'6". I'm more than sure about that. And letting just balls get inside of the box like that in these kinds of situations and these clutch performances, like it really does raise the question that they will need maybe more an experienced keeper for what PSG want to attain in the future years.
On paper, he's the perfect goalkeeper when you look at his height and everything. But realistically, he has made so many mistakes that a goalkeeper shouldn't be making it. And also, back then, a few years ago, you'll say, oh, he's so young, but he's not that young anymore. He has the experience of winning a Euro Cup with Italy. Like, he should know better. And that's something that they definitely have to work on.
Yeah. I mean, what a run for Dortmund. I'll be straight up honest here. I didn't even have them getting out of that group. And, that group that they had with the PSG, Milan, Newcastle.
And AC Milan, yeah.
I didn't have them getting out of that, and here they are in the final. So, very impressive coaching by them. And it's got to be said, the Bundesliga is looking fantastic in these European competitions right now.
Yeah. Talking about Bundesliga, as we transition to that Bayern match, what do you guys think of it? Because that Madrid game at the Bernabeu, You know,
Man.
as it was an extraordinary game, but I still feel like the first leg was a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
in terms,
I think the last 10 minutes of the Madrid game were obviously
you know, yeah,
Crazy.
it was very exciting.
Yeah.
But as a match, the first game
I
was a
think-
lot better because they both attack.
Yeah,
In this match, you know, people are saying that Madrid game winning in the very last minute, no one knows how. Bro, they dominated the match. Like they could have easily scored 2 or 3
Yeah.
goals in the first half.
Yeah.
I was honestly surprised when the first half ended. I was like, how is this 0-0? Like, it makes no sense. Like, Madrid is going to score at any point, and then Alfonso Davies just scores an absolute
Banger, my
screamer, bro.
goodness.
on his right foot as well.
Yeah.
His right foot.
You know, getting subbed on at left wing, you know, like last match, like the first leg, we wanted to see Alfonso Davies. Here he comes in, and I think Nabry got like injured,
Yeah.
and then they subbed on Alfonso Davies, has a run, cuts in on his right, and just absolute banger. Like
Yeah.
it really was an amazing goal, and also like Madrid didn't. It's not like they stayed back and they were just counterattacking and defending and all sort of stuff. At times they had the ball and they wanted to push forward. But honestly, credit to both teams. They both played a really good match, and unfortunately, just Madrid, you know, getting the late goal. Bayern needed to get one back, and then of course there was a bit of a controversy in terms of them getting a incorrect call, as what the lineman told the Ligt about getting that offside whistle, not letting the play go through. What do you guys think about that? Like, should he have blown the whistle? What do you like?
He shouldn't have, but at the same time, arguing that it should have been a goal is stupid because the whistle, you know, like
Yeah.
it was a mistake. You know, the FIFA, you know, the protocol, you know, demands the referees to allow, you know, the ball to continue, you know, the play to continue going, but you know, he did, you know, blew the whistle and that's it. You know, like
that's
it's a
what it is.
mistake, but it is what it is. Like,
That's what it is. You know, that he blew the whistle
Yeah.
and the call was decided.
Yeah.
and it was close, but I still feel like if they would have gone to VAR, I feel like he was a little bit off. Like it would have been one of those, like when they do the whole like animation thing,
Yeah.
like it would have been by like an elbow or something. Like it was really close, but I still feel like he was off.
Yeah, no, definitely the wrong thing to do there is to stop the play. And you gotta let that play. You gotta let that play. But you have to consider that even with this Bayern goal, the substitutions that were made, you know, by Tuchel, like you take out Harry, you take out Musiala, you have nothing to work with in extra time. So I think Madrid pulls this result anyway in extra
Yeah.
time if Bayern get that goal.
Yeah, I was talking with my friends on a group chat as we were watching the game, and when Bayern scored the goal and they started making subs, I promise you, I texted Madrid is gonna win this match.
Yeah.
Because it almost felt like Bayern didn't know that there was extra time. Like they just forgot that there was extra time, and they could have just, you know, make defensive stuff but still keep some kind of form,
Yeah.
so that in the case where Madrid scores a goal, you can go to extra time and still fight.
Yeah.
And two, they forgot that it's Real Madrid.
Yeah.
like they're gonna play until
Yeah.
the very last second.
And they forgot Ancelotti just has to raise his eyebrow. and it's over.
Exactly. So putting just 7 defenders on is not gonna do anything. You still need to play like composed. And that's how Manchester City beat Real Madrid last year. They dominated and they won 4-0, but they kept some kind of composure. They kept some kind of form in the lineup that made sense. They just they didn't score 2 goals and then they parked the bus. No. They tried to continue playing their game. And you know, Tuchel definitely made some mistakes in those subs.
Yeah, I mean, he subbed out Leroy Sané at the 76th minute, way too early for that, and then just taking off Harry Kane. And I mean, you could argue that Musiala or Thomas Muller for Musiala was a decent sub, but taking off Harry Kane, taking off Sané, like those are your weapons, man. Like
Yeah.
you're in the Champions League, trying to get to the final, you can't be taking off these players.
Yeah, talking about players, we gotta talk about Beanie, man. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Kimmich was just
he was having a hard time.
Yeah.
But Vinicius, right now, I feel like Mbappe is a little bit more talented, but based on form, Vinny is the best player in the world, even better than Bellingham, because I haven't seen this kind of. He's such a weapon every time. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's the first minute of the game or the very last minute of the game. He's always fast.
Mhm.
He's always making the right choices. And yeah, he may have a hard time finishing. I think that's something that he can improve. But when he's on the wing, like you know that he's gonna cause trouble, and that's crazy. Like I haven't seen that in so many years.
Yeah, and he makes all kinds of runs in the middle. He makes vertical runs. He really does have like that IQ. He's got that speed, and if he's got this team around him, Tony Cruz is feeding him balls and stuff like that. Like it really is a lethal weapon to have.
Yeah, he's definitely moved up in my number one in my personal Ballon d'Or rankings for the end of the year.